In the past, I've talked about why Shinigami Bochan to Kuro Maid is a good rom-com. I made the video when season 1 was airing, and well, I think that video is shit. But since Kuro Maid has exceeded my expectations every single season it comes out, and I'm way better at making videos now, I'm making another one. Now to start things off, visually, Kuro Maid has been steady. The CGI probably kicked out interest out of 70% of people who started even staring at the poster. But I have to give credit to JC staff and Yamakawa Yoshiki for how they maintain a quality of animation that is neither something to write home about, nor something that is so bad that makes your eyes want to peel. Now realistically speaking, would I prefer the show to be animated in the normal 2D hand-drawn animation? Yes, as it probably would cater more of an audience and maybe look a little bit better. But I digress. Kuro Maid is a wholesome mystery anime disguising itself as an ecchi rom-com. But this disguise slowly gets peeled away as the seasons go by. Season 1 was a rom-com anime. You get introduced to the main cast and their dynamics with each other. Everyone is pretty wholesome. Besides Rob and Viola's relationship. Which, honestly, I'm writing this script in the middle of season 3. And I don't know how they're gonna write out of this mess hole that they have written themselves into. Season 1 contains some mystery moments here and there that will be brought up later in the season. There were some really nice romantic moments between Bochan and Alice though. Season 1 honestly was nothing too crazy. If the show would have just ended in season 1, it would be a very, very bad shame because season 2 is when they decided to shift it to another gear. The show throws away a layer of disguise and starts going harder in the mystery aspect. Some questions gets finally answered through introducing and personalizing characters that we knew about but remain in the shadows in the first season. Season 2 doesn't rely on the romance between Alice and Bochan anymore, which honestly I think is a great idea. Because how many times can Alice show her melons to Bochan for it to stop being funny, you know? Instead, the romance gets filled with Zayn and Cuff's relationship, which has a totally different dynamic between Bochan and Alice. And add to that doubtless crush with our best boy Walter. This gives a very fresh spark that the romance needed after season 1. The season ends with a shonen-esque goal of to somehow convince Sade to lift the curse and make amends. Season 3 is where all the layers are out and the disguise is completely gone, as it is probably the final season. All the questions that is asked in season 1 and season 2 gets answered. Sharon is finally part of the main cast, and for some reason her curse is lifted. Sharon has been such a wrecking ball of a character. In season 1 and 2, everything gets tied back to Sharon. Her being the Genki mom that she is impacts majorly in the show's dynamics. We finally get to understand Sade and Gerbera's relationship. Two characters that so far we've seen as villains of the show, and of course both of them having really, really nice backstories that make you can't help to not hate them as much now. Sade having a crush on Bochan's belated grandfather but gets jealous of Sharon, Bochan's mom being a negative EQ level character but only finding solace in Sharon. The show is trying for the we are all friends type ending, which honestly is hard to pull off as the mixed reviews in Osama ranking shows, which both shows are similar in a way in how they introduce shadowy characters to progress the plot. I don't know as of now if they will pull off this magnificent feat, but the main reason I think this show can pull it off is because Sade is actually likable. Sure, she has blood on her hands with the witches that she tried to kill, but that's self-defense. Right? And I guess you can write off the terrible curses she puts into people as strange witch humor, or Sade being an emotional mess at the time. This sounds like a coping mechanism, which in part it is, but I personally will be watching Shinigami Bochan to Kuro Maid with high hopes that it will be better than your favorite rom-com.